You are listening to the PHP Ugly podcast. And despite what the title may lead you to believe, this is a podcast about the joys and challenges of being a professional PHP developer. Your hosts are three passionate developers who make a living coding and who live stream every week to discuss coding, projects, work, tech, and running a business. And now, here are your hosts, Eric Van Johnson, John Congdon, and Tom Rideout.
Well, just about every week. Every now and then we miss a day. You know, it happens.
The intro is playing again, by the way.
What do you mean playing again?
Oh, no, it's not.
No, he's got YouTube open.
Have you not listened to the
attention.
show before? Do you not know how this works?
I don't know how to do YouTube.
I'm your host, Eric. You're listening to episode 200. We did it. We made it. It took 4 years and I don't know how many months to get here, but we're here, episode 200 of just really wasted hours of our life, and we do it. Well, I don't know why we do it. Actually, we got kicked out of many support groups, and this is just.
Thank you to our Patreons.
Joining me in this disaster of a show are two people I know and have some sort of relationship with: John Congdon
Oh my goodness!
and Tom
What a
Straight
week.
Up.
So, did you also start drinking earlier than normal today? Because I did.
The trick was not to stop drinking from last week, so I just kind of been drinking steadily through the week, and I've discovered it works.
You wear it well.
Thank you.
You guys can see I'm in my brand new office.
I see. It looks now. I don't want to say I'm influencing you, but I can't help but notice your chair there, buddy. Looks very nice. You even got the little gold trim.
Did you seriously get the Batman chair?
Huh? Lost you. We lost you, Thomas.
Did you get the Batman chair? What is this? This is awful.
It's me. I'm using my AirPods. Apparently, Siri's a thing. Stop talking, Siri. I have enough voices in my head. I don't need you. Please. I don't know how
Did you get the Batman chair?
No, I have the same chair you have. I have the exact same chair.
Yours has Batman on it.
This is just
It's just,
this is just a little cape my chair wears. Oh, it is?
This is the same chair I've had. I told you to get this chair.
I got rid of that chair because I hated that chair.
I love this chair. I love it.
It was way too hot.
It does get a bit toasty.
Yeah.
You see the sweat dripping down my back at the end of every show. Oh.
Just turn a fan on. You're good to go.
So the windows to the walls.
So you got a new office, is what you're trying to say?
Did get a new office.
New bachelor's pad? Are you finally coming clean that your wife left you?
No. This is our shared office now. My wife and I share an office. It's pretty great because
You're out of your bedroom. You have a separate space now.
We have the separate space, and it's weird. There's like a bedroom-sized hole in my office and an office-sized hole in my bedroom.
I tell you, I honestly think working remote, you have to have a separated space. I don't know. I mean, I know people do it and don't, but I couldn't. I don't think I could do it.
I liked the shared space. I could lay down on my bed and still be at work. Now I feel like
It doesn't work that well.
Let's be real. The industry you work in, that's not that uncommon.
That's true. Although, I mean, the office, an equally probable setting. It's nice. You might hear that it's a little empty in this room. There might be a little bit more echoing going on than normal, but probably not.
I was going to say, it looks pretty crowded behind you.
Yeah, that's my e-liquid mixing desk for my e-cigarettes that you guys hate.
Hate is a strong word. Despise. Yeah, that's a better word.
That's not a very strong word at all, John.
Despise is a stronger word.
Give your lungs a break. Let them breathe.
They get a break all the time. I switch from e-cigarettes to regular cigarettes on a regular basis. Keep it mixed up.
Keep your lungs on their toes. They don't know what they're getting hit with.
Yeah, it's like muscle confusion workouts.
That was the biggest difference I noticed moving to San Diego from Florida was the number of smokers is so much less. So I don't know how you came from San Diego as a smoker.
I have needs.
I've never been into. I mean, my dad was a heavy smoker, heavy chain smoker, and I grew I despised it growing up as a child, being back east in the winter, driving somewhere in the cold, and that car just filling up with smoke. I felt like I was suffocating every time.
I mean, that's just a lack of empathy. I mean, imagine how he felt. He was doing it to you. He must have felt awful.
Yeah, both my mom and dad are both bad smokers.
See, I'm not a smoker. I'm an e-cigarette user.
You said you smoke regular cigarettes too. You're a smoker.
Not at home. Not usually. Not often. What are you, my doctor?
I only do crack when I'm in the alley, so I'm not really a crackhead. I never do it at the house.
Okay, I only killed Bruce Wayne's parents. Calm down.
All right, so I dipped out on you guys last week. I apologize for that.
Well, no, you were sick and we were terrified.
I know, it's like you're a weaponized body. Like, you go out in public now, you cough, people like duck under desk and tables, man. It's like you pulled a gun out or something.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm watching way too many videos of stupid people, and it just drives me nuts. Did you see the video of the woman?
Shows?
What?
Oh, what? Which video?
Did you see the woman wearing a mask, but she cut out like her face and nose, so it's like open, but she's still wearing the mask?
I've seen the ones of people wearing masks on their arm, like, I'm wearing a mask. That's why a lot of the signs now say face covering, to stop that nonsense.
There are people who have been shot. There are people who have been beat up. I mean, there's like 2 people have died because someone didn't want to wear a mask.
Yeah.
No, there's been a lot more people that have died because people don't want to wear masks.
Well,
I'm just saying, we're at 150,000+.
There were 2 confrontations.
Yeah.
Okay, I just try to be clear. You said it, not me.
I don't know. That's why whenever I have someone like a solicitor shows up at my house now, I answer the door just coughing as much as I can.
Well, I've had to have a couple. Matter of fact, I had one in my house tonight. I had to have service calls to my house. The guy came and did my stove tonight. One of the burners were messed up. Not relevant. Anyways, he's sitting there and talking about he can't believe how incredibly busy they are. And I'm like, yeah, because like everybody's home, their shit's breaking now. You know, it's like normally they just like, oh, the stove doesn't work, I'll eat it. Or the stove's not working, I'll eat at work. You know.
Yeah, stove hasn't worked in 4 years, and now it has to be fixed.
Exactly. All right. So, episode 200, guys. What do we have to say about that? Anything appealing? Do we want to talk about this at all?
It's
kind of
not
feel nostalgic.
It's not really a milestone worth celebrating. Wait till we get to 1,000, then we'll celebrate.
I don't think Eric's gonna wait till we get.
Tom's a jerk, obviously. Let's Thomas opinions.
I am very happy. You know, this whole thing started off as a way for us to stay in contact when I moved to Colorado.
Not true. We didn't even know you were moving to Colorado when we started this, man. What are you talking about?
We did. No, we traced the whole timeline back. I was right.
All right. We're gonna play our first show. I'm gonna play the first show. I'm almost there. Here we go. I
Oh
think I can do
God,
this.
don't do that.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
What?
It's happening. Put the. Let me switch over to Firefox here. All right, here we go. You can't see it. It's down at the bottom. I don't have. Okay.
Do I have to hear what I sounded like back then?
You sound the same. What are you talking about?
Oh God, don't tell me that.
I'm hearing it though. Are you hearing it?
I hear John mumbling.
Oh, we had the intro music back then. You were listening to the PHP Ugly Podcast, episode 1. Today we're talking about who we are, what we do, and what this podcast is going to be. We'll also talk some development and the cost of good code. Let's get started.
Listen to that swallow.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, I don't know how to start it.
You still started the same way. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. I think this is just Thomas and I. What the hell are we doing? What were we thinking? I think John joined us.
I wasn't thinking at all. It's just, yeah, let's do it.
That was March 15th, 2016.
I was on there. What are you talking about?
I don't think you were on the first one.
Wasn't that me just talking?
No,
That was me.
Stop.
I'm telling you. Let's see if you're on the second one.
Yeah, no, it was part of the prenuptials with my wife. You know, it's her responsibility to make me aware of my hygienic state.
What? Why?
You are listening to the
Come on
podcast, episode 2, recorded Monday, March 21st, 2016. This is actually one of the funnier ones. I'm sure John's on this one. Nope, John's not on this one either. This is just Thomas and I again. Much more. Enjoy. John, when did you join the show?
I don't think I have yet. I'm trying to get out of it as much as possible.
All the dead air? Which is pretty much all of
Yeah, then we just don't have a podcast.
You've got to be on this next show because it's Texas Hold'em. I can't imagine anybody talking about poker but you.
Why would you start this show without me? That's just so rude.
You want to do intros? I'm always doing intros. You want to try to do intros?
What do we do for intros? I don't know what you mean.
Do you listen to the podcast?
Negative Ghostwriter.
Oh yeah, I forgot I used to beep the podcast.
You're listening to the PHP Ugly Podcast, episode 4, recorded Saturday, April 2nd, 2016.
Saturday? I
Today
definitely
you're
wasn't on
talking
there.
about Playing with Vue, Postman team functionality, Bash coming to Windows, why the hell are you on a shared host, and static site generators using Laravel Blade templating. Let's get started.
You do a way better intro than I do.
Why does it sound like the quality has taken a nosedive since episode 3?
Oh, it absolutely has.
It is tax season. We jump straight from April Fools into, but seriously, you do owe $6,000.
I don't do the joke parts anymore.
When did you start the whole baseball reference thing?
Oh God.
Baseball reference?
That was like 30 or 40 episodes in.
Baseball.
The numbers thing.
Oh, the numbers! I love doing the numbers. I forget when that was.
We
really don't have to find it.
We have real PHP stuff to talk about.
We have a wave of confusion.
Really doing Boomstar. Let's change gears. Can we please?
It's not my fault. Oh, I'm sorry. Entirely my fault. Yep. Yeah.
I always tried to get both of you laughing in the intro.
You act like you. I was the one. I edited like 80% of these. What are you talking about, brother?
No, that was You edited like after episode 200, after episode 100, you edited them all. But I did the first 100.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you say so, I will not. I will not. It's not worth talking. Okay. What do we got to talk about here, man? Anything fun? Have you
No.
guys enjoyed this? Have you enjoyed 200?
Yeah.
Yeah, are we supposed to be honest or no?
Yeah.
Hurtful. So, so this is clearly John's last show.
No, I have. I do. I actually do enjoy talking to you guys. Sometimes.
Yeah, because we get to do Rocket League afterwards too.
Well, that's newer. But yes, to answer your question, Eric, it has grown on me. As much as I complain about it, I still think we record too long. But that's just me.
Do many of the listeners, so they all seem to agree with you. All right.
See?
Episode 200. Anything PHP to talk about, or are we wrapping up? We done? We're good? We're 20 minutes
done.
in? We finished this?
Oh,
Yep.
I am real curious about one of John's tickets here in Trello.
Well, I've got something else first. I'm sure. Actually,
Do it.
oh, it does involve this.
What, reverted PR, fucking null.
Okay, that's the ticket. That was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. That same PR got released last night, reverted again today. Mother, talk about stress this morning. Annoyed the hell out of me because it's hard. You spend so much time, and this was a pretty big feature. The pull request was 55 files, changing the core functionality of the system, and to have it reverted not once but twice sucks, especially when it's been in beta for 2 months. So it's been tested, people have been using it. It just made no sense. So the first time it was reverted, it was really quick, and it turns out it was because of allowing null into database fields. And the thing is, my query was using group concat, and if you have any null data in your concatenation, you get back null. I'm used to PHP where if it's null, it's kind of treated as empty. You can concatenate it, you're good to go. But it is not the case in MySQL. So once I found it, it was easy to fix, but it was a pain. And I told the person, I'm like, no, it's an edge case. It wasn't that big. And then I ran some analytics. Oh, no, it's 40% of the records in the table.
And then reversion number 2.
All right. Yeah, that was the first one. And it was easy to fix, obviously. And then today's there were multiple issues, but it comes down to, again, this is the core functionality of Phone Burner, and it gets used in lots of different ways. So I coded it, made sure it all worked in the standard way that most people use it, not taking into account, oh, they've got these special people over here that have something specific to them that we don't document, we don't have tested. People can do dial sessions from Salesforce. Again, not tested. I didn't think to go in there and put some traffic through to see how it worked. So it's just, when you do a code release and it's just, problem after problem after problem, and you're trying to fight the fires as quickly as you can, and then you got somebody in management saying, I think we have to call it and revert. And you're like, I don't want to revert. It's been in beta for 2 months. It's been, we've already had to revert once. And every time we revert code, it seems to take weeks to try it again, to have confidence to try it again. So it was sucked to have it happen again. But it got released again tonight. So I'm going to have fun tomorrow, I'm sure. Huh?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I don't know why I didn't think of to do this originally, but
Test
I
it.
just asshole.
I'm just.
No, I we I I made it where I split the JavaScript file. Basically, that's what I made a lot of my changes in. It was a core JavaScript. So I basically have a legacy JavaScript file, a new JavaScript file. We are going to continue serving the legacy to the main people using it. We can slowly put people onto the new one and start testing all of the pieces we know that are broken and get back to full functionality again. So that was my fun, stressful day. And when I say fun, I do not mean fun.
That's not the worst.
It's pretty bad. I wrote to Eric and I'm like, dude, I'm I'm done. I want to give up. Like I was like tears in my eyes. I was so upset. It sucked. But my kids made me some awesome cards saying, "I wish you were with us. I hope that your time at work is better."
I hope you stop crying soon.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much.
very uncomfortable to see
Tears.
you cry, Dad.
Tears aren't vegan.
Yes, they
Uh,
are.
and then and then
Uh,
did we talk about the chaos you created at the office, John?
There's no office.
No, no, not yet. Actually, can I tell one vegan thing, Eric?
Yeah,
I
Eric,
asked
take
my
your
Just
headphones
permission.
off.
Just one thing. Just one thing. Because Thomas never responded to this, and I thought it was hilarious. We were playing Rocket League, and the opponents, one of the opponents said, "I like our meat tastes good," and I said, "So does human flesh."
It's
And
not.
they're
He's
like,
not wrong.
How would you know that?
It was funny. All right,
It's
okay,
called
move on.
long pig, and it's delicious.
Okay.
Uh, what were we gonna
And
say?
and then John causes all sorts of disruption. I don't know if we talked about this in the last show or not, but we're always trying to better our processes and get more best practices in place and stuff. So for not a newer client, not even new client anymore, we've kind of been with them with a couple months now. Their project is getting some momentum, so they got an official kind of workflow with us where we created servers for them, did the whole dev, staging, prod, branches, all that. And then the topic came up of how we're doing merges. And so I kind of stepped back a little bit because I have my opinion that seems to work, and so I don't need to impose my opinion anymore because it's been proven. Just saying.
But you should. You're the CTO. You can override me and make those calls.
Well, but you're right. We need to try to have better practices. So we decided to explore doing squashes and rebases on merges through
Yes.
GitHub. Oh man,
There's your
it's
problem.
it's yeah it's
Why? That's what I've been using now for years, and I have no issues with it. And then all of a sudden, you tell somebody else to do it, and they freak out.
Well, yes, no, like on a one man branch.
No, this is a huge team that's doing it.
so I assume you're talking about Phone Burner.
Yeah. So
Everybody at
it's not
Phone
a
Burner
one.
does this.
Yeah. Well, so you 95% of the features are single person. So you cannot rebase if you're working on the same branch with multiple people. But once things are merged into, once a PR is open to develop, that feature is squashed and merged. And then the develop branch is merged into production.
Is
Haven't
that
had
squashed
any
and merged
issues.
too, or just is that just a
No,
straight merge?
that's just a straight merge. It's not done through GitHub. So we've been
Oh,
doing that develop to production or staging to production via GitHub. It should be the same, but it's definitely caused some headaches there. And it doesn't help that I went on a little vacation. I'm gone for a couple of days and things seem to just hit the fan.
Yeah. So John's gone for a couple days. The client has this big pitch he needs to do on Monday. So John's gone Thursday, Friday. Client has this big pitch they need to do on Monday to get some support for this project that they're working on, this application that they're building, and just everything goes sideways with the merge workflow. And oh man, it was just like it was just
he's on the phone for hours with developers, and I'm laughing. I was sitting there drinking and just laughing about. No, I was not.
It's been I have yet to see the benefit of what we're doing. I assume maybe I will at some point. I mean
the benefit is that if you need to roll back a feature, then you just roll back the one feature. It's like you have a feature tagged commit.
We're not using tags, but see, this is where I get lost. So first thing, we've been working on a much larger project with a ton more developers. I mean, maybe not as big as Phone Burner, but we've had a lot of developers come and go that work on this big project. Yes, we have to do reverts. So in that big project, we just do straight merges. Everything's a straight merge. That's what's worked. I have no issue with it. That's what we go with. So that's my method. It's just straight merges. I like the concept of cleaning up the merges with squashes, but go ahead.
If you were to go look at the commit log on that project for the staging branch, it is so much cleaner to say, this PR, this PR, this PR,
here's
versus
my point.
All of the commits in between there.
Here's my point, right? How often do you do that? I mean, in practice, we've had to revert. We've had to revert
twice a month right now.
We've had to revert on this big project where we do straight merges, and the reverts just work fine. It's a PR. We just revert this PR.
Yeah. I don't agree with the revert argument. To me, it's the commit log, and
yeah, I get the commit log.
If there is an issue, being able to go through and possibly spot things a little faster.
Yeah, I don't know if there's enough benefit there for as much trouble as I've seen it cause. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's the thing: is I work on a lot of back end and front end collaborating on the same branch, and if I did the squash stuff, I would never catch the things that my front end guy just blanks out on.
Well, and you can't squash when you're working with somebody else on the same branch.
Okay, so this whole conversation just doesn't apply to me.
Right. So the way we do
as many good development practices conversations are.
Yeah. When we do separate front end and back end, it's two separate branches. And then we'll bring them together for testing, but there's usually enough of a contract in place first to make sure that we're building the right thing.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Well, so that's the first issue on this new project. Then I find out Laravel sucks. I'm sorry.
You and I are going to disagree on this very heavily.
I have been trying to come up with a good segue for the rest of this episode, because that's what the rest of this episode is about.
All right. Well, we decided we're going to start using MySQL as a service through DigitalOcean, just like AWS RDS. We're going to try the new database offering from DigitalOcean.
Sure.
Using MySQL 8, and they want to handle replication, and they enforce primary keys on their databases. I don't know why, but they have a long article about why primary keys are important for the way they do replication. And Laravel doesn't add primary keys when you create the table. They create the table, then add the keys afterwards. causes an issue.
Yeah, I mean, you
So we,
can add the primary keys.
No, you can't.
no, even if you say, even if you do primary keys, you know, in the initial migration, like you do just like the big init ID, big init thing,
Yeah.
it
Laravel does it as two separate queries. They create table, alter table.
Whoops.
yeah, that we discovered this.
Yeah.
Because that's what
And
was weird is that so we would try to do a migration on this new database and it would start choking saying, hey, you know, primary key required or some shit like that. And we're like,
SQL require primary key.
yeah, and we're
Yeah,
like,
and that
but
makes
it has
sense.
a primary key. Well, the thing that was confusing is the migration had a primary key defined in it. And then John started doing some research.
Right. So the initial fix is to set the flag, the session variable to false. You can't do it as a whole. They don't give you super privileges to change the server, but you can do it on a per session basis. We can make that work. And then I decided if they really do rely on this for replication, I don't want to possibly screw that up. So let's do it correct. And the only way we've been able to do that is to we can write out the Laravel way if that's what people feel comfortable with, then dump the table and then replace your migration with a raw SQL create
Oh.
table.
Yes, and this is where we start butting heads a little bit. One of our developers called me in and like, hey, yeah, I'm trying to run this migration. We're trying to combine all of our migrations, and I'm having problems. Can we jump on the call? I'm like, huh. I was like, I know something about combining migrations is coming out of the next Laravel. I'm wondering how she did it, how they did it, and I get on this call, and it's just this one huge SQL statement. I'm like, what are you thinking? She's no, it's okay. This is what John said to do. I'm like, what is he thinking? And oh man, and so yeah, again,
Uh,
I might have to
I,
overrule
I
this one.
I thought about it about 2 minutes ago while we are on this call, and as long as we are setting the primary key on every single table, I don't think it matters if it's set at the time of creation.
I'm
No, it
sure it
matters
doesn't.
when the first record is created.
But
The
Right.
problem is that the replication schema they're using relies on the primary key as the indexing ID. So
Mhm.
if it can't find a primary key, then it doesn't have an index and it can't replicate. So it's seeing a new table and then failing loudly.
there's
Whereas if it
there's
failed
two
quietly, you'd be fine.
there's two things going on here. One, the team caught, which I'm guilty of all the time, which is now we have to remember to add primary keys to pivot tables. So I typically don't have a primary key on my pivot table.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So now we have to do that. The second thing, I don't know if the fact that we use UUIDs most of the time as the primary key is going to surface as an issue either.
No, that's fine.
It won't. Yeah, that's
Okay.
perfectly fine.
All right. So, yeah,
I would
that's
even venture to say that the reason that it's an issue is because they do support UUIDs instead of auto incrementing IDs.
mm, okay.
But still,
Yeah.
I mean, Laravel has had a really hard couple weeks.
Right.
2 weeks ago, there was a big, important security update.
Oh, right. Did you understand
They,
this one?
yes, uh, this is a this is an issue with encryption where if you can reproduce an encrypted value repeatedly, then you can derive the encrypted value's key. So if I can encrypt 1 and then encrypt 2 and then encrypt 3 and then encrypt 4, eventually I can derive the encryption key from the results. And at least this is my understanding. The session driver, the database session driver was vulnerable to this kind of attack.
So you knew exactly what you were changing in your session.
Right.
So you could derive the key based on the difference of what you were changing and how the session should be changing.
Right. So this is the issue was that if you were using the cookie session driver, then you could start writing to the cookie and getting the result back. Whereas if you're using a database driver, you can't see the encrypted result. So your cookie session driver is returning the encrypted value for 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. And you can enumerate the encryption key for the entire application from that. Which is a long-standing, well-known no-no in cryptography. Don't let people encrypt the same thing over and over, or don't let people brute force your encryption algorithm. But the issue here was that they patched the 6 branch and the 7 branch, but they did not patch the 5 branch, which was the LTS branch.
Well,
really,
to be fair, when does LTS end? I'm assuming it ended a year ago.
August 2020, so this month.
Oh.
So this issue that occurred July just didn't get patched into the LTS, and there's no new LTS version. And a lot of people said, well, what the fuck is LTS supposed to be for then if you're not even putting security branch fixes into it? And a lot of people got very upset at the whole situation.
5 LTS security fixes until August 2020. Yep, you're absolutely right. That is what it says.
Yeah. And so that upset a lot of people. And then something that we've been complaining about, the 3 of us, reared its head in a way that upset basically everyone.
What's that? Am I missing something?
Somebody issued a pull request for replacing the default testing suite with Pest, which is a 0.5 version Laravel specific testing suite that is, I think, 2 months old.
Yeah. So my biggest issue with that PR, and I don't know, the person who opened it, Nuno, he's big in the Laravel community. He does a lot of work. He actually works for Laravel now. He just started work for Laravel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, a few months ago. It's been recent. It hasn't been that long. But he's also the author and creator of this Pest project that he wants, this testing suite that he opened up a PR to become the default testing suite. It's kind of like, I don't know, I guess it's like giving yourself a nickname. It's like, don't do that. It's let somebody else open up that PR first off. Second thing, it's your product. You work for Laravel. Can you just talk to Taylor directly? Did you have to open a public PR for this? Because I think Taylor, either that or maybe he did, and Taylor said open up a PR and see what people say. I don't know. I don't know what the conversation was, but
well, people came out pretty strongly with 400 thumbs down, 3 laughing emojis, 71 frowny faces, and 24 shifty-looking left and rights.
Which again, I don't want him to be discouraged. I don't want that to discourage him.
100% want this person to be discouraged from releasing a completely untested testing framework on Laravel.
Yeah. It was.
I
I mean, my point on it was it, it has a testing framework in it. It's the industry standard testing framework. Pest it can be installed as a composer package. I've never installed it. Maybe there's some overhead with installing it. Maybe it's not just a simple composer require. I don't know.
well, no, there's not.
It's
It's
not a
So
composer require.
it is.
it's just a composer require.
Oh,
That's
okay.
if it had significant overhead, what are you even doing committing to Laravel?
Well, and this is my point. It's like why are we worried about changing the industry standard framework that's been there for years now that everybody is
For
accustomed to
for
Well,
using?
maybe
decades.
maybe Pest PHP does something that we don't know. What
That's
are we?
fine. I mean, again, it's a
Right, but
package you can install.
also the default should not be doing things you don't know.
No. So now I'm curious, since they're actually he was actually replacing the PHP unit uh, library in Composer. Is it a backwards compatible version? Like I'm assuming they take
My understanding of
that.
it is PES actually sits on top of PHP Unit, so PHP Unit doesn't go away. It's still accessible to you. That was one of the points of confusion, I think, is that people were like, "Well, no, 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 we have PHP Unit," and it became clear that, well, PES just sits on top of PHP Unit, so
I, I did not see it as a point of confusion. I saw it as a what the fuck, this isn't even a final product. And he came out and said, well, 1.0 will be released before the 8.0 branch comes out. And it's like still not a good answer.
right, yeah.
Still that's still bad.
That was probably the biggest red flag. If I were the developer of PES and I didn't have a stable release out, there's no way I'd be pitching this to frameworks to say,
No,
"Hey,
the
use."
opposite.
Yeah,
If a framework said they wanted to use it, I'd be telling them, no, 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 no. This is a beta thing. It's cool and I love it, but just include it with Composer. Rely on your PHP unit tests. Don't rely on this.
yet.
I, God knows. I mean,
There's not.
it's a framework. It's a framework being included into another framework.
Hmm.
You're asking for trouble. I'm not even willing to write one framework, let alone two for the testing of the framework that I'm writing. It's but this is indicative of all of the complaints we have about the release process for PHP, where the end result of this whole thing was Taylor saying, it looks like there isn't a strong positive consensus to include this. That
Release
is,
for Laravel, not PHP, but yeah.
but that is the opposite reason for things to be included. You don't want a strong positive because it had an extraordinarily strong negative consensus.
Mhm.
So I don't care how strong the positive consensus was, the fact that it had such a strong negative consensus on its own should exclude it from being included in Laravel.
But
Yeah,
Taylor said, Pest is minimal, distraction free, and a joy to use.
I believe that's on the PES
Cool, he can
website.
use it all he wants.
The interesting thing is, I think Freck has a quote on the PES website as well,
Yeah,
and
he
he was
does.
actually one of the people who spoke up and said, "No, no, no, this probably isn't." I don't know exactly what he said, but he definitely discouraged the idea of letting it be the swap out.
Well,
And
because
again,
everything
this is
Frick does, Frick, if you don't know, Frick is the founder of Spatty, and everything he does is in beta for 6 months at least. If you go
yeah,
to any of his projects that are new, he says, "Hey, this thing's totally cool. Don't use it."
He said Laravel 8 was a little too early to use it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very reserved comment from a guy who is an incredibly reserved person. He is not confrontational. And this goes back to 3 years ago when Taylor started banning people who were saying, "Hey dude, we love what you do, but you got to slow it the fuck down." I mean, right now we're on Laravel 7.25. I just upgraded and I'm on 19.
Well, I mean, he releases every week. I mean, that's not changing. So
Right, but saying that he releases every week doesn't excuse that he should release every week. He shouldn't.
But here's the thing: the PR itself doesn't change any of the tests, and if PHP unit is still available under the hood as a dependency of test PHP, the tests are still running.
I get John trying to play the good guy.
Right, but no, he's playing devil's advocate, and I appreciate that. But the tests, the documentation for PHP unit goes away. The work for Laravel's integration into PHP unit goes away because Laravel and PHP unit have a tight bond right now. There is a Laravel specific base test class where you can say, get this view and get this view and make sure this view has these variables defined.
Well, the other argument is my biggest argument is with as much stripping as Taylor's been doing of things out of the base Laravel, including things like, the front end scaffolding that used to be there by default. You have to now
forms. It was forms, a couple different drivers for queues.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Laravel Collective is the source for all of it. HTML helpers.
This is it didn't make this. We're not ragging on pests. We're definitely not ragging on Nunum. How do you pronounce his name? Nunum. Nuno. We're definitely not ragging on those. I just think we're to Thomas's point, talking more about this. This was a little nerve wracking as people who have a business around Laravel applications and how trying to keep up with the changes. It's like not a stable release. There's no need for it. Nobody's asking for this. The creator of the package suggested it. What's the point? I do wish that he had taken a beat and said, yeah, I would like this to be the default testing framework of Laravel, but I really need to get it to the stable release first before I do that. I wish he had thought through that a little bit more. But I am glad that it didn't pass. I mean, like Thomas was saying.
But it was a literal 18-hour discussion. That's part number 2, is that the ticket was opened 4 days ago and closed 3 days ago. This is the way that Laravel is getting updated, is that a PR is sitting there for hours before getting approved, as opposed to days and weeks, and having, I don't know, bugs addressed, or it's frustrating when you go into a project and there's 20 PRs that are pending. But I think with a framework, it's frustrating when there's no open pull requests. They've all been approved and merged.
Well, I don't think that's fair. I don't think they're all approved. I think Taylor has a reputation of just closing PRs without conversation as well. I think that's the other side of this coin.
He either closes them or merges them. But it's like when he gets the email, he sees the conversation that's been there for an hour or two, and makes the decision then. And
I know that's what I was worried about when I saw this.
If you pull up open PRs for Laravel's GitHub right now, there are 0 open PRs. 0.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at it.
Are you sure you're looking at the right repo?
Yeah, 3,700 closed.
Oh my God, Siri, stop! Nobody's talking to you. How do you turn Siri off?
I see 8 PRs.
I see 0 open.
On the Laravel framework?
On Laravel/Laravel.
No, Laravel/framework.
Right.
Well, another issue is that the PR for Pest was on Laravel/Laravel. So, which repository does it belong in?
I'm not sure what the repo for Laravel/Laravel is supposed to represent, but yeah, I think everything goes into the framework. I
I
don't know.
believe Laravel/Laravel is when you instantiate a create project in Composer. So when you launch a new Laravel app, it pulls from Laravel. And if you're updating the framework, it pulls from Laravel framework.
Okay.
So if you were upgrading from 7 to 8, this PR wouldn't even be in it. This is the structure of a starting application, not the structure, not the code behind it.
Hmm.
Which is another issue I have encountered twice in the last month, is that I'm missing a bunch of things that the documentation covers, but I don't have because I've been upgrading since 5. I'm so tired of this process, and I keep looking at the Symphony guys drinking Mai Tais and saying like, yeah, next month the new minor release comes out, so I'll worry about it then.
You know, there's now a Symphony cast, right? I was on there the other day.
Are we? You were on it?
Yeah,
Well,
you got some
not
good
on it,
videos,
like
man.
not as a. He was watching them.
Yeah, I was watching him. Yeah. They've got some good videos. My issue with Symphony in yeah. So my issue with Symphony still is it is definitely a competitor I'm looking at, or not competitor. It's definitely another framework I'm looking at leveraging. But you still like you have. It's not that different than doing just a bunch of Composer requires on your own project, right? Because
What's wrong with that?
well, that's the thing, right? It really depends. I mean, I know a couple of projects we're working on, especially with some of the teams we're working on, not having a bunch of having a very opinionated framework and say, okay, we're using Eloquent. Here's how we're doing it. Blah 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 blah. And having all that documentation for them to reference has been easy. Whereas if we use Symfony, it's like, okay, well, we're going to use active records on this project, we're going to use Doctrine on this project, because you have that freedom to do, and not standardizing on the components that you're using and how you're using them concerns me. I mean, again, I think it's a self-policing thing where you just say, okay, well, here are the components we use when we do a Symfony project, and you still have the maybe your ability to go Stack Overflow or find help on a particular package might not be as strong as it is with an opinionated framework like Laravel.
We would get to have our own opinions, and
Yeah,
we
I was
could
thinking the opposite.
you get to go down project one with this opinion, and then feel free to change it. Like, I really didn't like this aspect. You go down project number 2 and you change that aspect, but you have the rest of it that you're used to.
Well, you know the request variable, like underscore uppercase request.
Yep.
I believe that in Laravel that gets blanked out, so you can't even reference it.
I don't. Not, that's not. I don't think that's not right. I'm not going to say I don't think that's right. I'm going to tell you that's not right. But
I lost my mouse, so I can't actually check that right now.
if you're a Vim guy, I have Vim plugins, and I don't even need a mouse.
Don't
Check it.
say.
Check it, man. Like here, like you got all these. I just hit F and see everything. So I want to see what's in Learn Symphony 5. I just hit SA. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm there. No mouse, man. Not even using a mouse. I need to scroll down. What? You need to scroll down? You need a mouse for that? No, you don't need a mouse. You just hit JK. You need to go to the bottom.
But
Just hit G.
I'm using
Go to the top. GG.
Barrier, so I can't switch to my machine that's running PHP right now.
I'm telling you, man. You don't need a mouse. Get with it. Get with it. I'm just saying. But anyways. Yeah, I mean,
Nice way to crowbar Vim in there. I like it.
that's way to what?
It's a nice way to crowbar Vim in there. I like it.
And I still have a word in my chart. I still have to mention Livewire a couple times.
Yeah,
before the show's over.
you can make a crowbar in Vim.
Nobody actually uses Vim anymore. It's in Vim. It's NeoVim now, man. Yeah, you need to get with the times. Times, brother.
How do you guys feel about the greatest self-writing headline of all time? Is that there's a countdown for TikTok to be banned in America?
So we had already talked about this. We talked about the security vulnerabilities of TikTok. So we weren't.
No. We were talking about the security issues with the chat app.
We're talking about TikTok. Eric and I at least talked about TikTok before.
Yeah, we
because
talked about TikTok.
I'd sent him when I first saw the article, 2 months ago now? I sent it to him because it's right when his daughter was getting big into TikTok.
Right.
Like, yeah, this is scary stuff.
So here's where my spider senses start tingling on this one. Okay, because I kind of, and this is where my whole, wear a tin cap, my microwave spying on me, conspiracy theory person starts to kick in. So there comes all these news articles about the security issues with TikTok in China.
Right. As opposed to Facebook in America.
Right. Last week, a bunch of the top CEOs in the tech industry had to testify in front of this judicial committee about, practices that they have. They had Apple there, they had Facebook there, they had Google there, they had, I think they had Twitter there. They didn't have Microsoft
Jeff Bezos.
There. Yeah, AWS. Yeah, Amazon was there, but they didn't have Microsoft. Microsoft wasn't there, or at least that I knew of. They weren't represented, and if they were, they were.
They're not in the social media game.
This wasn't social media, though. AWS isn't social media. This was all.
Well, Amazon.
Hold on. This was all about a very common topic that was all Microsoft years ago, which was being a monopoly in the industry and icing out competitors. That's what it was supposed to be about.
Yeah, they're the good guys now. They're going Linux.
One side of the party started turning it into some weird, you're silencing the right-wing people thing, but it really was.
As it turns out, an internal leak from Facebook showed they were actually favoring conservative sources and removing fact-checking from conservative articles before they were doing it to Democrats.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody with any sense would be surprised by that. So, my point being, Microsoft wasn't a part of this. Then, Trump threatens to ban TikTok from America unless they sold to a U.S. company. What U.S. company steps up? Microsoft. The one company that's not under fire right now.
Well, Microsoft had already stepped up. 2 weeks ago, Microsoft had announced communicating with TikTok for an acquisition. But still, the president forcing a foreign entity to sell to a local,
US
a national, that's illegal on 20 different levels.
Then
not including state levels.
Maybe one of you guys can confirm this. I heard this from one news outlet, and I am not now. I need to hear it from a couple of news outlets before I believe it. But I heard that Trump even suggested that whoever buys TikTok, the U.S. government should get a cut of that deal. And I'm like, that cannot be legal on any level.
No, that's 100%.
They get a cut anyway. It's called taxes.
No, before this announcement, before the TikTok banning announcement, he had announced that if Microsoft were to buy TikTok, the government would need to get 30 to 40% of the revenue from the sale.
How is that possible? Yeah, we're going to force a company in another country to sell to a company in our country, and you're going to give us some of that revenue. So,
Well, let's
yay.
instead of TikTok, let's just call it T. There seems to have been in American history a small dispute about the ownership of T and the taxation of which. Like, I know we don't want to delve too deep into politics here,
Please.
but Jesus Christ.
It's hard not to. I mean,
The current political situation has inspired me to buy a gun, which is a bizarre thing for me.
I'm curious, though, knowing that Microsoft is trying to buy it, I'm assuming there's a chance they started this thing about TikTok being so insecure? Or
I don't know.
this big security risk?
But it's not for sale. That's
right,
the thing.
Right, but if Microsoft wanted to buy it and they float this theory that, or they start saying that TikTok is insecure so that people in the US stop using it, TikTok sees usage plummet, so then they sell.
But no, the people on TikTok don't care about security. They don't even comprehend the relationship between personal data and what they're posting.
Oh, I immediately removed it.
Well, you had it?
Of course I had it.
I don't have it.
I'm surprised to hear that.
It was definitely a time suck, and what I noticed was every time I did a dance, nobody ever liked it, so I just stopped.
I strongly want to get TikTok now.
You have effectively broken my argument.
I actually removed it because of the battery drain on my phone. It was pointless.
What? It was hysterical.
The fascinating thing, I can't remove Facebook from my phone, and I had a security update on my phone that added 5 new applications that I can't uninstall. And Congress is talking about fucking TikTok.
And part of that security was to secure something on Twitter. Every time I log into Twitter now, it's like Android 8 and 9 or whatever it was. There was some vulnerability.
I got a new phone, and I still haven't even logged into it. So,
well, that doesn't matter.
Well,
is your phone connected to your Wi-Fi network?
What was funny is if I was watching some of these politicians, and they were like the Republican politicians who, for some reason, were trying to protect TikTok at first. I don't know why, but they were like, "Oh yeah, I've watched 40 hours of TikTok. There's no way any country can grab any information from people watching those videos." I'm like, you realize it's not about the videos, right?
You obviously don't get it.
If I had a career politician that I could vote for tell me that they'd watched 40 hours of TikTok, they would no longer be my politician.
It's not about the video. It could be a video of a butterfly. That's not the problem, you know?
Right. It's the fact that it sends location data and all of the user identifiable data, the unique ID of your phone number, which it then cross-references when it advertises to you, when it uses all these other platforms. No one in Congress, except for AOC, actually understands the relevance of all of this data collection. Mm-hmm. And I include AOC just because she is exclusively the exception to the rule. Mm-hmm. Like, she is the only one who actually comes out and says anything even remotely relevant to how the internet works. And she's so good at it. It feels like the internet bashing the internet here, but Jesus Christ. These people who develop these apps, they've got no soul.
All right.
Yeah. Who
We're
needs
running
who needs
late.
a soul when you're trying to make money?
That's right.
That's
You
why
just
they call it selling your soul.
John, you just completely froze on us.
All right. Well, all right. I have no soul. Thank you to our Patreons. If you'd like to support us on Patreon.
Yes, if you'd like to support the Soulless 3,
I have a soul, man. I have a size 14 foot. I know I have a soul.
it's got it in a bottle somewhere
I have
behind
good
it.
news though for our Patreons. I went to storage and I tried to find our PHP Ugly keychains, and we ended up putting way more of our office in storage than I anticipated. So I was unable to locate the keychains, so I ordered a new round of PHP Ugly keychains. So they should be in a couple weeks, and
So you get version 2.0. Lucky you.
that's right. And then the thing you're going to hate me for, John, is I realized I never promised the keychains in Patreon. The only thing, the only perk in Patreon you get are the stickers. We had done the keychains like the first time for the first round of Patreons to be, to thank everybody, but I had forgotten that point.
You promised them on air, not in not like in a
Yeah.
contract.
So, anyways, more keychains are on their way, and the cool thing about it is they're coming to my house, so I can put them all together, ship them out, and be done. And Buttery, I see you're in chat. You're getting something, man. I'm gonna get you a package. I promise you. You're on my list. I don't care how much it costs, John.
It's all good.
All right.
Oh,
Is that your dog barking?
that's my dog's barking. You want to cover a little bit more?
Yeah, we can do one, two more. What's up?
PHP 8.0 is officially beta. Beta 1 is out. It is feature frozen. It is ready to go. The PHP internals for the feature freeze was kind of fascinating. Don't have the, bandwidth to cover it all here, but basically the person who was doing it didn't understand the forking and for 8.1, and the conversation around that was somewhat interesting to read. So I recommend externals.io. Check it out. PHP Storm 2020.2 is out. And if you're looking for the changelog, basically feature support for PHP 8 is the big deal. If you're going to be running PHP 8, then running PHP Storm 2020.2 is going to have all of the stuff you want to have in it. It's going to know what all of the changes are. It's going to correct you on them, give you suggestions for changing your union doc types to other correct doc types, and it's a good read if you don't know what's coming up in PHP 8 anyways, because it'll tell you, hey, here's not what's coming up, but here's how to use it and how we'll show you how to use it. Their documentation for what they're doing is spectacular as always.
I will say that as a big Vim user, and I played around with the idea of switching back to Vim. That is definitely one of the features I do like about PHP Storm. It does a really good job at giving you suggesting better ways of changing your code. It's very
It's been one of my favorite things lately, where it doesn't just say this is incorrect, but it says, let me show you how to do this the correct way.
Or better way, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I just put on Trello, Eric, another what's new in PHP Storm 2020.2, but it's a YouTube video. That's very. I love watching their videos. They do a good job at producing those.
We'll be sure to put that in the show notes. I don't know.
I just didn't want you to think they were the same card at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, the one thing I wanted to cover is we're in the wrong business. Adam Wathen,
yeah,
friend of the show, posted a blog post saying Tailwind CSS from side project byproduct to multi-million-dollar business. uh,
Didn't have
Adam
to
Wathan.
create a guy.
Adam Wathan has publicly stated that Tailwind UI, which is the sort of paid version of the Tailwind's front end, has almost crossed the $2 million revenue line. And I feel personally assaulted by this.
What's that?
Because I have good ideas, but I don't have $2 million fucking dollars.
I tell you, man, Tailwind is huge to me. I'm a big fan of Tailwind, and I don't actually enjoy using anything else because a lot of it because I'm not good with the front end stuff, and Tailwind gives me the control I need.
I'm kind of not interested anymore. He's doing well. He's doing well enough. He doesn't need my help. I've known that the software as a service stuff is the future for micro millionaires. But fuck, I wish I just had one good idea.
Just one? You got no money making ideas? Fine.
No, not like this. Not like something I could just make and be like, hey, here's my thing.
It's not like it happened overnight. I mean, he spent a lot of time and effort on it. I mean,
yeah, I think the timeline is 1 year.
I mean, just looking at this graph, the graph goes back to 2017.
Oh, I've been working for a long time. I don't have anything from 2017 I'm still proud of. My end lesson from this article is try to monetize or try to open source until you can monetize.
Absolutely.
Find the thing that you're passionate about and fits a niche area. I really do sit and think all night now, like, what is my niche area? What is it that I know and I can do well? And then I look up if Spadey's already done it, and if Spadey's already done it, I just try to find something else.
Don't worry about that. Just do it your way. I mean, that's the Argus product the Argus product we're releasing. I've found so many cron monitoring services now. Like when we were looking for a cron monitoring service, we couldn't find one, and that's why we started building one. I find them all over the place now, and I don't care. You know, it's like just if you're passionate about it, if you find something you're passionate about, you just do it. You do it your way and just see what happens. You know.
Let's see.
That's what these guys. You know, and again, it's not like Adam Wathan came out of the blue with Tailwind, and it wasn't like a Vue situation where it just like hit like a hammer and took off. I mean, he built up quite the following in the Laravel community, and he leveraged that following with Tailwind, and that got it the momentum it needed.
So you're saying I should build up a fandom in the Laravel community?
I'm just saying you need to be a nicer person.
The Laravel community might not warm up to me as well as I wish they would.
It's taken me about 4 years, and you know, I'm still having to go through therapy about it, but you know, we'll be.
Oh no, because I remember you used to shit talk Laravel just as much as I did.
I still do. I mean, I think
you're much more selective.
I think I'm one of the best critics of Laravel, where people who hate Laravel don't like me because they say I like Laravel too much, and people who like Laravel don't like me because they say I hate Laravel too much. I'm right there, man. I've hit that sweet spot where you're looking for more people to like you. I have hit the sweet spot where the fewest amount of people possibly
most
like
enemies.
me. Yeah. I mean, I give it credit where it's, and I'd be a hypocrite not to. I mean, we've built a business off it. So many of our applications are Laravel applications where I feel that they're successful because they're Laravel applications, because you know we're not having to micromanage how the project is coded. There's again an opinionated way that it's being coded. So I would be a complete hypocrite to keep shitting on Laravel, but I will call Laravel out. And of all of us, I probably have, the longest history with a back and forth with Taylor and having not so nice words said to each other. So I will stand toe to toe with Taylor on any topic, but I will also
See,
pat him on
the
back
issue is that
where it's needed.
I meet Taylor face to face, and I lock up like a deer in the headlights. Oh God!
It's funny because it's true.
Oh God, that's him. Oh God!
I thought you were joking. Hey,
I didn't know I did it until you told me.
He's right behind us. He's right behind us. Who? Look. Hey, Taylor. You're a cool guy.
Hi.
All right, I think that's it. I think we're done.
Sure.
We had nothing positive to contribute for episode 200. It was just another crappy episode.
This is a great episode.
Believe it.
I have a new office.
We're going to take a break now, right? Is this it? 200?
No. A 4-year break. We'll be back with 201 in
we have to do one more because I'm getting a new mic. So I really want to have at least one show of a good mic.
Are we all getting?
Well, if it's a good mic, then yeah. You've got a new mic. What are you talking about?
This mic is 7 years old.
It's got pizza hanging off it.
When I moved offices, I had to plug this mic back in. 8 cables. 8
cables?
There's 8 cables, like 8 different wires to get this mic connected to my PC.
Well, you're doing something wrong.
No, it's input to the phantom power, power to the phantom power, output from the phantom power, extension cable, and then line out to the computer.
All right. Well, everybody who's hung out with us, maybe picked us up, listened to the last few shows, whatever. We appreciate you guys. People who...
We're not really going anywhere. We're not taking a break. We're just joking.
No. Although this is the time when you review how many people you contribute to on Patreon and rethink, is it worth that $2?
Well, that's what I was going to say. We promised you guys if we got enough Patreons where we're getting $10,000 a month, we would stop recording. So this is really on you, Patreons. You guys are not giving enough. We're going to keep recording.
Every week, this is your fault.
Every week after week. This is in the environment because of you. Did you see? Do you guys see this? Oh yeah, this is on camera.
Your on-air thing.
Well, no, it'll flip. We're up to like 139 YouTubers, so we're basically knocking on the door of 140, man. 140 YouTube subscriptions. So, I mean, things are happening for us. I don't know too many other people that have 140 YouTube subscribers.
Not good things, but things.
All right. Well, it's been fun. I appreciate this. Appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys tolerating me and putting up with me all these years. It's been fun. And
I'd like to officially say that, Frank, you don't have to listen to us as part of your job. I appreciate your viewership, but it is not no matter what Eric said, it's not a requirement.
We lost a subscriber. Damn it, we're down to 138 now. Shit. We were at 139 earlier today. Buttery, why do I think that's you? All right, that's it. We're done. It's hot. I need to open up some windows. I appreciate it. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom.
Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
All right, I got like a bunch of ultra-wide monitors pulled up on my laptop right now.
I need a bunch of ultra-wide monitors.
How it goes, John. You don't have to. I'll do it for you. You just kind of put it out there. I'm just saying. You know how it goes. I got a green line on my monitor, so I'm ready to swap this thing out.
No. All my monitors are totally screwed up, and I told Jose, and he's like, yeah, I'll get it in the next budget. Like, I'm like, no, dude, they're bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to switch because I'm not happy with my layout right now, and I'm trying to decide do I go to an ultra wide or not?
Everything I've heard is good.
Yeah, currently I switched to a vertical monitor on the left, and I've been liking that for coding, but I might like a single monitor better.
You use your vertical monitor for coding?
Yeah.
That sounds really great.
Why?
I want to do that.
Why?
Because I get more code. I can see longer files much easier without
How much
scrolling.
code do you have to look at one time? I need to look at like 3 lines at a time, and I'm pretty much good.
Well,
man.
you're a better developer than I am. What can I say?
Oh,
I see. I split my code. Like I'll have like anywhere from 2 to 6 or 8 panes open at a time.
Huh?
I'm stopping my local.
I'll do
Right.
horizontal splits and vertical splits all over the place.
So with your vertical screen, you have enough real estate there to do a vertical split?
Yeah. When I need to, I mean, I mostly do horizontal splits, but I'll pull up vertical splits on there.
That's interesting. See, I do a lot of vertical splits, and that's why I like the side by side. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I mean, hey, if you need it, it works. I use it. I mean, basically, that's my communication center. I have all my little chat things open. Occasionally, I'll do the
That volume is high
Yeah.
on the music.
Hey, look at that! We just got a new subscriber. Should update.
Thank you, Janos.
I think it was Jose, or was it?
Janos.
You guys are the worst at this.
I do the terminal window on the vertical, which I like a lot. So I'll do it so that it's its own screen, like the full thing, and go back and forth.
Well, I want to do. Right now I have 3 monitors. I want to do 2 ultra wides and then have a vertical over like on my far left.
How would you even do two? Oh, you're not talking about like how would you do 2 of those? Like that's like a 360.
Yeah, two 30 inches.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
think
I
John's
was looking
talking
at
more-
like one.
So
Yeah.
The 34s are too big to me.
What are you looking at, John?
On my screen right now, 38.
That's
Well,
that's too big.
I got well with my 2 monitors right now. I'm at about 36, 37.
Well, with my three, I'm covering about 3.5 or almost 4 feet.
I mean, yeah, my setup is. I'll show you my setup and see if we can get my camera here.
If I include my laptop in there, I'm covering my entire 60-inch desk.
So I can't really move my camera enough. But there's this. I have a. I
Oh
have a
yeah,
vertical
you have
right
yours
here.
really tightly pulled in.
Yeah.
Mine are almost flat for the whole span.
Oh.
Oh, if I can. I can't get my camera out. Getting my office set up was such a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely. Well, like I said, my middle screen here has the green line going up and down it. So that's like. Oh, that's what I was gonna say, John. The only thing I'm worried about is compatibility. Are you making sure it's compatible with the Macs? Because we've gotten those monitors before where it's just been not very good.
You have
I
those
haven't.
external GPUs. That should be fine.
Yeah.
I really haven't done any research. I just started pulling them up.
It only really becomes an issue when you start looking at TVs because TV refresh rates are not what you would think they would be. All right.
Hey, well, you guys go play your Rocket League, I guess, and I'll
Oh, I will.
wrap up here. When you guys gonna start
All you gotta do
streaming
is
that?
all you gotta do is hook your Switch up and start playing with us.
I know.
It,
Barely get a
in
hold of my
in
Switch.
no, in a
Apparently-
week it's gonna be free.
Apparently,
Yeah, that's
Zoom.
true.
Zoom
He's got
crossing
it
or
already, though.
something.
Yeah,
There's some
hook your
game on
Switch
the
up.
Switch that my Switch is very popular in my house right now. The
Fall
crossing
Guys.
no, there's something I don't know.
Oh, Animal Crossing, New
Animal
Horizons.
Crossing. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you're
So,
screwed.
yeah. Between my two kids, yeah, I barely see my Switch. I
Well,
keep
no,
asking.
and the next 3 months are like video game heaven for me because Horizon New Dawn is coming out and then Cyberpunk is coming out, which I am so ready for.
I have no clue what those are.
The Cyberpunk isn't released yet, so the media blitz hasn't really happened. But when it comes out, expect every news station to be covering it nonstop for 2 weeks.
Think you might be reaching a little bit for that one.
Nope, not in the slightest.
What is Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk is the newest game from CD Projekt Red, who created the Witcher series, and it's very possibly one of the biggest games of all times. It's going to sell more than any other game ever has ever.
I still won't care.
It's going to be amazing. I am so excited. But no, really, like it's going to be the biggest game of all time. Like
I got
easily.
something to show you guys. Give me a second. Talk.
I'm gonna pee while you figure out what you're showing me.
Gotta wait for Thomas.
I don't know.
It's not that exciting. I told you I went to storage and I was looking for
Yeah.
the keychains and stuff. One of the things I found in storage was a bunch of my old. No, that's a terrible one. A bunch of my old COBOL code from college. This is like the old green paper where I had to run it, then I had to go down to the data center and get the output, and so yeah, I got like, oh yeah, I just got like, I'm afraid to open it because it's probably gonna come apart. But, like it just goes and goes and goes. This is like crazy COBOL stuff. I'm like, I don't even remember what I was doing on these projects. This is I didn't believe it. I saw the paper. I'm like, what's the green paper? What's the green striped paper in there? Because of course I'm a geek and I remember what it used to be used for. I thought it was something because it was in a weird box. And yeah, it was old. Beck just kept putting it in a box. She goes, oh yeah, this is some of your schoolwork. I'm like, God damn it, it is some of my schoolwork. This is crazy.
All right,
Crazy, man.
You've got access to the Patreon.
Ooh, what?
I need a microphone.
Well, spec something out and send it to me.
Well, so what did you get? Because I think the best opportunity we have is for all of us to have the same microphone.
What I got cost more than we had in Patreon. Trust me. Let me get this mic in. Let's see if it resolves. Because I am the worst with the mic. So if this resolves our
Yes.
issues, then we can figure it out.
All right. I'm gonna kick my wife off watching Hamilton play some